And you are live.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. We'll call to order the regularly scheduled meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. It is Wednesday, March 1st at 7:02 p.m. Board members present tonight, we have Vice Chair Kia Baskerville, Dick Peterson, Elizabeth Conger, Ryan Chitwood, and I'm Jimmy Praley. We also have City Attorney Mike Lyles and Deputy City Clerk Cynthia Gaines. First item on the agenda is the minutes. Has the board had the opportunity to review the minutes of our last meeting? And if so, are there any additions, corrections, or modifications?
I move they be approved.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, the minutes will stand as approved. Before we dive into our regular business, since this is a virtual hearing, anybody who wishes to submit public testimony may do so by way of written testimony, which will be submitted and accepted as part of the official record. Anybody wishing to submit written testimony may do so by going to www.annapolis.gov/ABC. And with that, I will declare the public hearing open. First item, our only item on the public hearing, is an application for a new alcoholic beverage license, a Class B2 beer, wine, and liquor, with meals only, 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week, with the special Sunday license by Amanda Lukacs, Christopher McEwen, and Michael Ferretti for the premises known as Lost in Annapolis LLC, trading as Agave Mexican Restaurant, 106 Annapolis Street, Annapolis 21401. We'll give it a minute for everybody to come forward here. All right.
Good evening.
All right, is that everybody?
Let's see. Looks like it. Shep, where's Shep?
All right, we'll get him.
Should be on in 1 second.
Okay.
All right, great. All right, good evening, Mr. Hyatt. If you could let us know who you're here representing tonight, introduce your clients, and we'll get everybody to raise their hand and administer the oath. But first, I'll get everybody's name and address for the record, please.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Stephen Hyatt for the applicant, Lost in Annapolis LLC. My address is 200 Westgate Circle, Annapolis. And we also have 3 of the members of Lost in Annapolis LLC, Mike Ferretti, Chris McEwen, and Amanda Lukacs as the members. And then Shep Tullier is going to be speaking to public need.
All right, thanks. If everybody who's planning on testifying could raise their right hand and I'll administer the oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the responses given to the questions asked will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, great, thanks. And I'm gonna have everybody put their address on the record. Chris, we'll start with you if that works.
Yep, it's 35567 Peregrine Road. That's in Lewis, Delaware, 19958.
Okay, and Mike, we'll go to you next.
Yes, sir. 58 Eleanor Lee Lane East, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, 19971.
All right, Amanda.
764 Whitney's Landing Drive, Crownsville, Maryland, 21032.
All right, and Shep, last but not least, please.
614 Taman Drive, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403.
All right, thanks. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Hyatt, and you can present your client's case.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I believe you've all seen the affidavits of posting and mailings that went out. Have you all seen that?
Yeah.
It's in the record. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to start with Mr. Ferretti. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes. Hey, Stephen.
Good evening, Mike. Since you just went through your name and address, we'll skip that part, but go ahead and tell us, you have a membership interest in the applicant Lost in Annapolis LLC, correct?
That is correct. 48%.
Okay. And do you hold an interest in any other alcoholic beverage licenses in Maryland?
I do not.
Okay. You're aware that as a licensee, you're responsible for the liquor license violations if a license is granted to you, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now let's get into the meat of it. For the board, could you explain why you chose as the operator of the restaurant here, 106 Annapolis Street for Agave Mexican restaurant?
Actually, it's very interesting. I feel like Annapolis chose Agave. As some of you may be aware, we have a great location in Lewis, Delaware, and another fantastic location in Rehoboth Beach. Over the years, many of our clients said, you have to come to Annapolis. You have to come to Annapolis. And I've been to Annapolis many times. It's a beautiful city. And the landlords actually sought us out. They sought us out pre-pandemic. And sure enough, we had a lease. And because of the pandemic, we parted company. And one thing led to another. They had 14 other restaurants that were interested. And they sought us back out again and really wanted the high quality that Agave stands for. And we felt after visiting Annapolis, that particular location, it fit in perfect with our mantra of a nice family atmosphere, the similar size, shape, just the whole motif of the Annapolis is very similar to our Lewis store that we started in 2008. So in summation, we feel that this is a natural progression for our restaurant brand Agave, and we're looking forward to enriching the citizens of Annapolis.
Okay, great. You talked about the Lewis and Rehoboth Beach locations. Just tell us a little bit more about your prior experience as the owner or operator of restaurants.
Sure. So back in the late 80s, early 90s, I was director of operations for 14 restaurants. You may have heard of these O'Toole's restaurants. They were in Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, and so forth. And I was director of operations. And after that, I left that company and went to a company called Ecolab, which is a multi-billion-dollar company in the food service business. And in 2018, I had the fortune to meet my partner and his wife, Chris and Jocelyn McEwen. And I've known them since 2008. And my wife and I were frequent diners at the Agave in Lewis. And Chris and I put our deal together in June of 2018. And it's just been a beautiful relationship ever since. And we've expanded the concept, and we look forward to coming to Annapolis and beyond.
Great. Let's talk a little bit about the restaurant itself. Could you describe for the board, what exactly you're going to be operating here? What's Agave going to look like in terms of types of food, hours of operation, seating, all of that?
Sure. So as any restaurateur goes to a new location, it's always better to learn and listen to your customers and clientele and so forth. We understand there's a big contingent of football players there and so forth, and we're big football fans and go Navy. The restaurant is going to be, our hours are going to be probably anywhere from 9 to 12, although we look to these hours to be less than that. People ask us, what is Agave like? And it's very simple. We're a restaurant that happens to serve alcohol. Our forte is our fresh food, our quality. We're the largest purveyor, a single restaurant purveyor of tenderloins, avocados, and limes. And you may think that's funny, but I'm talking about in the entire United States. All of our ingredients are fresh. I think it is perfect for the Annapolis clientele. We've already had so many people that come to our Lewis location and our Rehoboth location to sing about Agave, and everyone, without fail, is very excited to have our little restaurant in the city of Annapolis. And we're humbled by that. So we're excited. We're going to be great operators, and we're going to be great stewards of our brand into your great city.
Great. Thank you. Let's talk real quick about the seating arrangement, just for the record. The Annapolis Board of Appeals approved the use, which is a special exception, and they approved 128 seats. But
Correct.
specifically, it's on I'm not sure how you all received the application package, but it's the 57th page. It's the floor plan, the second page of the floor plan. You will note, well, maybe in your plans, it's the first. The actual floor plan, it's kind of hard to read, but there is a note on the center of the outdoor dining space, and it matches up to the language that's in the Board of Appeals special exception approval. When the outdoor seats are utilized, Mike, what's the arrangement there?
So have you been to, obviously you've been to the location, but we're granted a maximum use of 128 seats. So is your specific question outside? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. When you are utilizing the outside seats, I guess, how many seats are you allowed to have?
32 seats, I believe, correct?
128 total, and the floor plans show 36 seasonal outdoor dining seats. So
30.
you're left with
I don't have that in front of me. That's why I knew it was 32 or 36.
so
Okay.
92 inside.
Mhm.
And this is actually similar, just for the board's knowledge, is what was done previously with the former Mexican cafe that's currently being renovated. They had similar requirements. So it's something that's been done in the past. Are you going to have, Mike, any entertainment at this location?
No, we will not.
Let's talk about the management, day-to-day management. Who's going to manage the restaurant?
Well, we're very proud to announce that Tammy Beach is going to be our general manager there. Tammy has been with the restaurant over 5 years now, and I've personally known Tammy since 2008, and she's got a vast restaurant background, and she is held in very high regard in the Delaware, Sussex County area, Southern Delaware. So Tammy Beach will be our general manager. She will be overseeing our entire operation.
And will Tammy be getting her alcohol awareness and crowd manager certifications?
Oh, yes. And she's very close to getting all that right now.
Okay, great. And
Very familiar with it.
will you be completing that, or have you completed it before you
I will.
operate the business? Great.
Yes, I will.
Okay. And just to confirm that at all times that you're open and selling alcohol, will there be somebody who has completed the approved alcohol awareness program and crowd manager training?
Yes, that is the case. Correct.
Okay, great. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No,
Have you ever been found guilty of violating a law in the state governing the sale of alcoholic beverages?
no,
Have you ever had an alcoholic beverage been revoked?
no.
Okay, great. I have no further questions for Mr. Ferretti, unless the
Great.
board.
Mr. Hyatt, let's let you just put on your entire case first, and then we'll see if the
Great.
board will just kind of open it up for general questions.
Perfect. I appreciate that. I'm going to call Chris McEwen next, please.
I'm here.
All right, Mr. McEwen, you're under oath here, remember, and you've already stated your name and address for the record. And also, please let me know if you can't hear me. Just put your hand up or something.
Gotcha.
Do you hold an interest in the applicant Lost in Annapolis LLC?
Yes, sir. 51%.
And do you hold an interest in any other alcoholic beverage licenses in Maryland?
I do not.
And you've reviewed the application, and all the information on the application is correct?
Yep.
Do you have any prior experience in the restaurant business before this location?
Yep, I do. So I started in restaurants when I was 14 years old. I'm going to be 40 here in the next month. So I have never done anything else other than being in the restaurant business. So it's everything that I've always wanted to do with my life. I wanted to open a restaurant since I was a very young kid. Didn't know what I was getting myself into until I actually started Agave in 2008. It was a very big learning curve. I was only 25 years old, and it's going to be 15 years in 20 days. It'll be our 15th birthday in Lewis.
Congratulations.
So thank you. Yep. So I have a lot of experience in the restaurant business, managing the front, managing the back, prep managing, obviously running Agave, managing hundreds of people in the summer, the customers, the employees. So I've worked in every aspect of the restaurant business, plumbing, electrical, having to do whatever I have to do to keep the restaurant afloat and running properly. I've done it. So
Great. Thank you. With respect to the city of Annapolis, have you familiarized yourself with their rules and regulations pertaining to alcoholic beverage licensing?
Yes, I have.
And you're aware, as I told Mr. Freddie, that you are responsible for liquor license violations under the license if it's granted, even if you aren't working day to day in the establishment.
Yes.
Have you completed or will you complete alcohol awareness course or courses or the approved crowd manager training course?
I have not, but I am. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No.
Have you ever been found guilty of violating a law in the state governing the sale of alcoholic beverages?
I have not.
And have you ever had a license, an alcoholic beverage license previously revoked?
No, sir.
Great. Thank you. That's all for Mr. McEwen. I would like to have Amanda Lucas jump on next.
Hi.
Good evening, Amanda.
Good evening.
You've already stated your name and address for the record, and you're still under oath. How long have you been a resident and registered voter in Anne Arundel County?
25 years.
And you hold a membership interest in the applicant Lost in Annapolis LLC, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what is that interest?
1%.
Do you hold an interest in any other alcoholic beverage licenses in Maryland?
No, I do not.
You've reviewed the application and can confirm that everything in it is accurate?
Yes, I have.
And you've familiarized yourself with the city's rules and regulations pertaining to alcoholic beverage licenses?
Absolutely.
Great. And same thing as Mr. Ferretti and Mr. McEwen, you are aware that you're responsible for liquor license violations under any license granted, even though you may not work in the establishment day to day forever.
Yes, I am.
And Ms. Lucas, have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No, I have not.
Have you ever been found guilty of violating a law in the state governing the sale of alcoholic beverages?
No, I have not.
And you've never held an alcoholic beverage license that was previously revoked, correct?
Correct.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Shep Toulier next, if you would be so kind. I think you're muted there. There we go. All right. You've stated your name and address for the record, and remind you you're still under oath here.
Yes.
Great. I'd like to request that the board, I believe they're familiar with Mr. Toulier and have accepted him
Yeah, you
previously.
don't need to qualify him. We'll accept him as an expert.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Shep, are you familiar with the West Annapolis businesses and restaurants located around the Annapolis Street corridor?
Yes, I am. I actually was an expert on behalf of Bella Italia and on behalf of Flamant.
For their liquor licenses?
Yes.
Okay. And you may have heard me mention this earlier, but can you confirm that a special exception for the standard restaurant with more than 50 seats for the first floor of this building was granted?
Yes, that occurred in March 2022, granted by the Board of Appeals.
Okay, great. Could you tell us the zoning of the property and maybe explain a bit about the intent of what's called the West Annapolis Master Plan as it pertains to the applicant's location?
Sure. The zoning is B1, which is a convenience shopping district. So all of Annapolis Street is B1 for the existing retail and restaurants. The city completed the West Annapolis Master Plan in, I believe it was June of 2021. And in that plan, the Annapolis Street area is characterized as the village main street of West Annapolis, and they promote retail, and they reference specifically restaurants as one of the uses that they would like to see in that area. Because of the location of this restaurant and the fact that it's mixed use and has residential above, Annapolis Street already has a pretty pleasant streetscape. You're going to have the active frontage that this will offer with the outdoor seating, which was discussed before. And it'd be hard pressed to find a better use in Annapolis Street that could conform better to the goals of the West Annapolis Village Main Street area. So this is really kind of hitting the sweet spot for what the plan called for, a standard restaurant at this location plus the residential above.
Great. And you mentioned you worked on the liquor licenses for, I believe you said Bella Italia and Flamant, but have you analyzed the number and location of other existing licenses in the surrounding area?
Yes, the only other active license that I'm aware of in West Annapolis, as defined by the master plan, is the New Canton Restaurant on Ridgely Avenue. It's been there for a long time. So we have an Italian restaurant. We have a Chinese, Asian restaurant. We have Flamant is a, if it's not Belgian, what's the other country over there?
I believe it is Belgian.
Oh, it's a Belgian restaurant. And so you already have a variety of restaurants there, variety of cuisines, but you don't have any Mexican restaurant there. Of course, everybody's aware the Mexican Cafe was there for a while. But at this point, that site is being renovated into a different use. And so Agave is going to be a new restaurant that kind of anchors the main street. And I think that it's going to be, it'll strengthen that corridor as a food restaurant destination. I think that's what the plan calls for.
Okay, thank you. Could you tell us in your expert opinion, what impact, if any, the license at Agave would have on these existing establishments that you've identified?
I mean, I don't think it'll have any negative impact. It might have a positive impact in a sense that it'll be a new restaurant opening in West Annapolis, so that people who are customers of the existing restaurants will see it opening, and somebody who goes to Agave, will be aware of the other restaurants in West Annapolis and may frequent them. So I don't think it'll have anything but a positive effect once it's open and established.
Okay, great. And you've seen the menu, you're generally familiar with the proposed operation. Do you believe that Agave, based on what you've previously testified, and I guess anything else you care to add, is a unique restaurant or will be a unique operation at this location?
Well, I think it's going to fit in that niche for a Mexican restaurant, but having heard now from both Mike and Chris, who are obviously very intimate with the operation, I've looked at the menu. It looks like a family-friendly type of place, highly rated in terms of its popularity, its cuisine, and it's a neighborhood restaurant. I think it'll be community-oriented. That's what West Annapolis really is all about. It's a great area, and I think this is going to be a great addition.
Thank you. Shep, do you believe that there is a public need for the requested alcoholic beverage license at this location?
I do. I think there is a public need. The board's well aware that most restaurants like to offer the ability, like to offer the opportunity for customers to have wine or beer with their spirits, with their dining experience. And, my conclusion here is that this application will be convenient and useful, appropriate, suitable, proper, or conducive to the public. So I think we do meet the public need standard.
Okay, thank you. What about the impact of a license here on the general health, safety, and welfare of the surrounding community? Could you speak to that, please?
Yeah, I think that in a way, this very issue was reviewed in the context of the special exception to the standard restaurant. And the Board of Appeals, as we already heard, they limited the seating capacity. They've limited the hours of operation, midnight and outdoors till 10 p.m. And the alcoholic service is only in along with the service of food. There is no bar, dancing, or live entertainment. So I think that the conditions placed on the standard restaurant approval in a sense ensure that there will not be an adverse impact on the general health, safety, and welfare of the community.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my questions for Mr. Touye, and he is my final witness. So I appreciate the opportunity and happy to answer any other questions the board has.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hyatt. Thank you for everybody who testified. Dick, you're already on it. Go ahead. What do you have to ask?
I do have some questions, several. Jeff, where
Yes.
on Annapolis Street? Just so that I can place where this place is going to be.
It's on the north side, kind of in the middle of the street.
How close to the ice cream store?
A block.
3 locations up.
Yeah,
Relocation?
to the
Okay,
east. Yeah.
Okay,
It's right in between Giddings Avenue and Melvin Avenue.
okay. I just, in my mind, I wanted to be sure where it was. Melvin Avenue is where our RAR is going to be, correct?
That's correct.
Let me go over again the hours of operation.
Board of Appeals approved, I'll read the condition that was part of the approval. Hours of operation with the restaurant indoors shall be limited until midnight and outdoors until 10 p.m. 7 days per week. Food service shall be available until 1 hour before closing 7 days a week.
Okay, that's Board of Appeals. I'd like to hear the plans for the restaurant hours right now.
Mr. Ferretti, if you want to restate that for the board.
So what I will say to this board, first, thank you for convening tonight. The restaurant business is cyclical with different seasons. So to have that broad band of time to serve our customers is good. But I could say with a high amount of certainty that we will not be open until 12 o'clock at night. We are a restaurant, first and foremost. I would imagine our hours, our last call would be somewhere in the 9:45 to 10 o'clock range to give our patrons an hour, hour and a half to finish. So the hours of operation will be less than what we've been granted, if that answers the question.
Maybe a different way to ask that question is, when you launch your website for the restaurant, what are your published hours of operation going to be?
Well, we haven't quite settled on that, sir, but we will be well within the parameters that's been granted by that special exception. I'm not being short here. I just, Annapolis is new to us. We have a lot to learn, but it will be less than what has been granted. Is that fair enough?
That's fair.
Yes, sir. Thank
How
you.
about you, Ryan? Are you?
Yeah, no, that's,
I've got, now, are you going to have a rooftop dining?
No, sir.
No, okay, no rooftop.
No, sir.
And I thought I heard, maybe it was Shep that said no live music.
No live music. No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
I may sing once in a while, but no live music.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to say anything about your expert witness, so.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I did have a question about parking. Now I'm
I'm a neighbor. I live in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And parking, how are you guys going to deal with parking? Are you just planning doing on street? Because I understand the building, literally walked past it with the dog. And it looks like all of the residential parking is going to be in the back, because I understand your mixed use, correct?
Mm.
Residential on top, restaurant on the bottom.
Correct.
So I just wonder, how are you going to handle the parking,
Yeah,
especially during football games?
I can speak to when we did I represented the property owners when we went through the site design plan approval with the city.
Mhm.
And just to clarify, there's only 4 apartments above this project. They each get 1 parking space. Other than that, it's the parking in the rear, which is accessed on Sagokin Lane,
Mhm.
is, I think there's 23 total spots, I believe. So you'll have, well, let's see, 1 is handicapped, so there's 18 available for the general public. But what we did when we worked with the city to get the project approved, knowing very well there was going to be a restaurant here, was we looked very carefully at the parking on the street during hours when Agave would have, or any restaurant for that matter, would have peak visits. And frankly, there's a ton of street parking after business hours, along
Okay.
Annapolis Street, along Melvin, along Giddings, and even along going back at least, well, Giddings up to Tucker, that aren't permit required. Any further out, you need a permit. Otherwise, there's a good amount of parking, even going up to what is it, Taylor Avenue, all along Annapolis Street in front of Lamont. There's a lot of parking. We actually, not to digress too far, but we looked at painting lines on Taylor, from Taylor on Annapolis Street to Giddings to designate. I think they could have fit 140 cars there, is what we figured, but the city didn't want to spend the dollars yet. Understandable.
Fair.
One day.
Anything else, Claire?
Nope, just the parking, really.
All right. I got a couple questions. How many staff are you guys planning on hiring to start off with? Do you know off the top of your head?
Chris can handle that. Chris?
Yep. So we will be hiring about 25 kitchen staff, 5 prep staff, and about 30 front of the house staff.
Okay. Are you going to make sure that everybody who serves alcoholic beverages is alcohol awareness trained?
Absolutely. I'm
Okay.
very aware of the laws in Delaware. We get frequent visits. We're always up to date on everything, and everybody always has their server trainer card.
All right, perfect. And now how about your carding policy? What's your plan there?
I'm sorry, what is that?
Your IDing policy. If somebody orders an alcoholic beverage, who do you card? Is it anybody under 40, anybody under 50, everybody?
We card everybody under 60. We card
Okay.
pretty much everybody all the time. And I have a prompt that shows up on my point of sale system now that if the server, food runner, busser, anybody from the front of the house that clocks in, they have to hit the accept button. It shows what the birth date is for somebody being the legal age to drink. And they have to acknowledge that birthday before they can clock in.
Okay. All right, thank you. Do any board members have any additional questions? Okay. Well, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dick.
I was going to say, I move we approve.
A second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, your guys' request is granted. Welcome to the neighborhood. Best of luck.
Great.
Fantastic.
Thank you all.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
guys.
We look forward to seeing Agave soon. Thank you again.
Take care. Thanks.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
luck.
Bye-bye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, I will declare the public hearing closed. We'll turn on to regular business. First is a request by Ram's Head for an extension of licensed premises with the consumption of alcoholic beverages for use in a private parking lot behind the establishment for their St. Patrick's Day celebration. This is scheduled for Saturday, April 22nd, 2023 from noon to 11 p.m. at 33 West Street, Annapolis 21401. Kyle, you there? Hey, Kyle, how are you?
You're muted, Kyle.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Hi, everybody.
No problem. If you could just go ahead and give us your full name and address for the record, and then tell us a little bit about this event.
Sure. Kyle Muehlhauser, 409 Grinstead Road, Vernon Park, Maryland, 21146. Yeah, so this is our, I'd like to say annual, but we had to take a break during the pandemic, but this will be our 18th year of doing our St. Patty's Day tent party. It's tenting the back parking lot that's directly connected to our facility. We have live music. We bring in additional security. We actually bring in 8 security people to provide extra security for the event. The tent itself is 21 and over only. You need to receive you have your ID checked and a wristband to be able to enter the tented facility. Our normal staff is working it. We overstaff for this event with multiple managers, myself included. Our staff is tip certified, and we also have crowd managers. I'm not sure if we get to over 250 people in that tent, but because of the onstage venue, we have crowd certified managers on our staff as well.
All right. Now, in the 18 plus years that you've done this, have you guys had any issues?
We have not.
Okay, great. Does the board have any questions? All right.
No, I move for approval. I mean, this is a well-oiled machine. You guys do a really good job. Ryan?
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Your request is granted. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Good luck, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right. I am going to combine items 4 through 8. These are all requests for special Class C one-day liquor licenses for the Naval Academy Athletic Association for college lacrosse games. The first is Navy versus Army, Saturday, April 22nd, 2023 from 7 to 9:30 p.m. The second is Navy versus Lafayette, April 15th, 2023 from 3:30 to 6:30. The next is Navy versus Boston University, Friday, March 31st, 2023 from 7:30 to 10 p.m. The next Navy versus Lehigh, March 4th, 2023, noon to 3:30. And then the final one is Navy versus Hopkins on Friday, March 17th, 2023 from 7 to 9:30 p.m. All of these taking place at 511 Taylor Avenue, Annapolis 21401. And who is here tonight for the Naval Academy Athletic Association?
Hey, good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Bill Givens. I'm the Senior Associate Athletic Director for Operations. And with me is Mr. Joe Cook, our Associate AD, and also Mr. Curtis Bland with Sodexo, our concessionaire.
All right, thank you, Mr. Givens. If I could just get you, Mr. Bland, and Mr. Cook to give your addresses for the record, and then I'll turn it back to you and you can present your cases.
Okay, my address is 8 North Southwood Avenue, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Mr. Bland?
Mine is 818 Nancy Lynn Lane, Arnold, Maryland, 21012.
All right, and Mr. Cook?
4 Glebe Meadow Way in Edgewater, Maryland, zip code 21037.
All right, thank you. Mr. Givens, go ahead and tell us a little bit about these events.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we appreciate your time. As you mentioned, we're here tonight to request the special Class C one-day liquor license for the upcoming lacrosse games at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. You mentioned the games and the dates in March and April that we would like to sell beer from our concession stands at these games. As with past events such as Navy football this fall and Navy lacrosse last spring, we've sold beer with the following measures in place. Stadium gates open 1 hour prior to face-off. We will be selling beer in our concession stands in the sections of the stadium that are open. Beer sales will end at the end of the third quarter. This is a ticketed event, so you have to come in on a ticket. As is our procedure, there'll be 100% ID checks, and those served will be wristbanded upon proof of age. Sodexo servers are tips trained. They are empowered to refuse service to anyone they feel is intoxicated. There's a limit of 2 beers per customer per transaction. In addition, we'll have safe security on site. There are security contractor out of Baltimore. We'll have them on site throughout the event. They will man the gates to make sure that no alcohol comes in or no alcohol leaves the facility. And they'll also be on the concourse and the stands, proactively looking for underage drinking or those who look like they may or could be overserved. The entire stadium perimeter is enclosed by a fence, and ingress and egress is through the gates, as I mentioned, staffed by safe security, again, to make sure nothing enters or leaves beer-wise. No beer, as I said, no beer will allowed to leave the stadium. Special Event Medical is our medical provider. They'll be in the first aid stands of the sections that are open, and they will be on site for the duration of the games to address any issues, again, that may occur. We do have a track record of serving beer at previous events, as I've mentioned, Navy football, the Military Bowl, Navy Lacrosse last year. So we've got we've got our procedures in place that we feel very comfortable with. Fortunately, we've not had any issues in the past, and we feel with everything that we have in place and the experienced servers that Mr. Bland hires, our security profile, medical staff, et cetera, that we think that that mitigates any issues that could have occurred or may have occurred. But should something happen, we feel that we've got the policies and procedures in place to address it. At this time, I'll pause and turn it over to the board if you have any questions about what we're planning to do for these lacrosse games.
All right, thank you, Mr. Givens. I don't have any questions. You guys have done this many, many times over, no incidents to report to date, which is fantastic. So does the board have any questions?
I move for approval.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, your requests are approved.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Good luck.
All right, next we have a request for an application for consumption of alcoholic beverages on city property at the Stanton Center with music for a birthday party scheduled on Saturday, April 1st, 2023, 5 p.m. to midnight, 92 West Washington Street, Annapolis 21401. Give it a second to pull the applicants forward. Do we have anybody here? There we go. Mariana, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Oh, there we go. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Great, thanks. Can you just give us your name and address for the record and then tell us a little bit about this birthday party, please?
My name is Mariana Guevara Hernandez, and my street address is 13 Monticello Avenue, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this event.
So we're throwing my sister a 21st birthday party celebration,
Okay.
and we're gonna have security guards there, and we're gonna have a bartender, a licensed one.
Okay, and what are you guys doing to make sure, well, let me strike that. I see you're gonna have about 150 people attending.
Yes.
Okay, and how many of those people are gonna be under 21?
We're gonna be checking IDs.
Okay, right, but are there gonna be people under the age of 21 at the party?
Couple.
A couple?
Most.
Okay, how are you gonna make sure they don't sneak in there and get a drink at the bar?
That's our security,
Okay,
and I had checked the ID. That's why we had a bartender.
okay, is the bartender gonna check everybody's ID?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And you've got a DJ scheduled from 5 to 11:30, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, you're making sure that they're gonna stop playing at 11:30, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and that gives everybody about a half hour to pack it up and get on out.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, does the board have any questions about this request?
So I just want to make sure I heard clearly. So we're expecting over 100 people, 150 people. One bartender, am I hearing you correctly? Just one?
Yes.
Okay, and you think that bartender is going to be able to?
Well, it's gonna be like at least. It's not gonna be like 100 people, but it's gonna be like least limit.
Okay, and you think that one bartender will be able to check all IDs, or will the IDs be checked on the way in? Is there some sort of way that the bartender will know so that, wristbands or something like that?
So we're thinking of so me and my dad, we've been planning. So we're gonna tell the security guards to check their IDs when they go in, and then we're gonna give them like a wristband, so like the bartender will know like who has the right limit of age so they can drink.
Okay.
We would strongly suggest that.
Yeah. Just because we know that there'll be like some people that they're underage.
These
that
are
they're
like
gonna-
only these are like family, friends, and they say coming to the party. I know all the people's coming to the party.
Yeah, but family and friends can be the most dangerous. I know from experience, but it's we would definitely recommend wristbanding everybody who's over the age of 21. And if that bartender sees somebody with a wristband that looks like they could be under 21, doing a check of the ID right there at the bar.
Yeah, we're gonna tell her to do that just so that we make sure that no one that they're underage, they don't drink.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
¿Alguna pregunta?
No.
All right, and then do I hear a motion regarding this application for consumption of alcoholic beverages on city property at the Stanton Center, Saturday, April 1st, 2023, for a birthday party, 5 p.m. to midnight, 92 West Washington Street, Annapolis, 21401.
I'm going to move for approval with a very strong warning. Please, please make sure no one underage is drinking.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, your request is granted. Have fun. Be very safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great night.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, next up is the Annapolis Maritime Museum. There's a request for a Class C one-day liquor license for beer, wine, and liquor with live music. The Annapolis Maritime Museum for the Annapolis Oyster Roast and Sock Burning, just scheduled for March 18th, 2023, 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., 723 2nd Street, Annapolis, 21401. And I see Kelly. Alice, are you there?
I am here, but I'm trying to figure out the video.
It says start video.
Let me just see. Here I go.
There
There
we
I am.
go. All
Hi,
right.
everybody.
Good to see you both tonight. If you could just
Yes,
introduce
yes.
yourselves, place your names on the record, and tell us about the sock burning this year.
Okay, well, I'm Alice Estrada. I'm president and CEO of the Annapolis Maritime Museum. Do you need my address?
Yeah, your address.
1764 Broadley Trail, Annapolis, 21401.
Okay.
And we're here tonight to tell you about our
Hold
annual.
on 1 second, Alice. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm gonna get Kelly to do the same thing.
Oh, okay, sorry, Kelly.
No problem.
Kelly Swartout, the Vice President of Development for the Annapolis Maritime Museum, and my address is 1690 Winchester Road, Annapolis, Maryland, 21409.
Okay, great. Alice, back to you. Sorry for that interruption.
Okay, that's okay. So yes, this is our, I believe, 12th annual. We had a hiatus during the pandemic. Oyster roast and sock burning, a unique Annapolis tradition. This is a fundraiser for the Annapolis Maritime Museum, which is a nonprofit dedicated to Annapolis's rich maritime heritage, but also the ecology of the Chesapeake Bay. And it's scheduled for Saturday, March 18th. It's noon to 4, so it's through the day. And we expect 1,000 guests. We cap it at that. Believe me, we sell out in a minute. We'd love to have more, but we realize that it really diminishes the experience, and we want to manage the event as well as we can. There's one ingress and egress We do hire 2 off-duty police officers from the city of Annapolis. We have a mature crowd for the most part, pretty well behaved, and we do have entertainment. We have the East Point Oyster Boys and Naptown Brass. And we also graduated to professional bartenders. We did this a couple years ago. It's really made a difference. So everybody is tips trained. We also have a volunteer coordinator that took the crowd control certification. Kelly, am I forgetting any of the logistics here?
Yeah, so we have a couple of people that have crowd control certification. Also, everybody that comes to the event are going to be ID'd as they come in. Those that are 21 and older are going to be wristbanded with one band, and anybody under 21 will have a different band. So we will band them. We have, like Alice said, we have uniformed county police that are going to be watching for people coming in, making sure they're not bringing any alcohol in, and making sure when they leave, they're not bringing any alcohol off the premises. We also have barriers now where there is just one way in and one way out, so we can really monitor what people are doing. And all the bartenders are tips trained. And I guess the other thing is that our leadership staff and numerous staff members of the Annapolis Maritime Museum will be on site that day, just in case something happens. We have notified all the immediate neighbors and invited them, and they're planning to attend the event. And then we're going to be reaching out to those on the outskirts in the vicinity of let them know that we're having this event.
Okay, how have the neighbors been? Have they been okay and receptive to this recently?
Our friend
Yeah.
actually emailed us to make sure he had tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He
That's all that was in the email. That's a good email.
Yep. So he likes us this month.
Okay.
You do ply him with,
What's that?
you do ply him with alcohol, don't you?
Yes, yeah, he does. He comes and he came to the Boatyard Beach Bash and brought his grandchild, and so right
Good.
now he thinks we're a good thing.
Good.
Today,
Keep your fingers crossed.
right?
All right. Does the board have any questions about this request?
I just want to know who you calling mature when you refer to the crowd.
Well, what I mean, and actually, we're really trying. I shouldn't say that because it's so quirky. We are getting a younger crowd. We'd love to have, a more diverse group. So
I'm kidding. I'm
that way.
kidding. You
But you're
guys,
right.
you always do a wonderful job, and even the police look at me crazy when, even with my gray hair, they look at me crazy when, like, I'm walking around there. So, no, we appreciate you guys, and I'm, unless there's any other questions, I'm making.
Well, I just want to say we've had the same city police officers work all of our events, and they really have gotten to know our crowd, and they're just terrific.
Yeah.
Just terrific.
Was that a motion you were making, Kia?
I make a motion.
I'll
to,
second.
approve.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Your request is
Thank you.
granted. Have a good time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right. Now we've got the Eastport Democratic Club for the next several items. I'm going to combine items 11 through 18. I know they may be a little different, but I think Dana can kind of point out the differences for us. I think for time's sake, it's going to be better for us to just combine them.
Thank
So with that, Dick, are you going to recuse yourself, or are you going to sit on this?
I can sit. I'm
Okay.
legal.
Okay, good. All right, so with that, I'm going to combine items 11 through 18. And these are all open to the public events for the Eastport Democratic Club. The first is for, bear with me on this, the first is for the Green Beer Races, which is scheduled for March 11, 2023 from noon to 6 p.m. The second is for Eastport Civic Association Antiques Roadshow from 12 to 5 p.m. The next is for a Spring Festival from noon to 6 p.m. Then the next is for the Love is Love Family Festival from noon to 6 p.m. Then the next event is for Summer Sessions on the Patio, which is scheduled for Sunday, August 27th, 2023 from 4 to 8 p.m. Then we have another Summer Sessions on the Patio, Saturday, August 13th, 2023 from 4 to 8 p.m. And then another summer sessions on the patio, July 23rd, 2023 from 4 to 8 p.m. And then another summer sessions on the patio for Sunday, July 9th, 2023 from 4 to 8 p.m. All of these taking place at 525 State Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403. Mr. Forney, good to see you tonight.
Hi, everybody.
Why don't you give us your full name and address for the record, and I'll ask you to go through and tell us about each of these events, okay?
Dana Forney, 1169 Bay Highlands Drive, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403.
All right, and you can, I'm assuming some of these are the same and some of them are a little bit different. Go ahead and tell us about these multiple requests.
Well, tell you the truth, they're all, we pretty much do the same, every time we have one of these open to the public events. The green beer races we've been doing for years, even before I showed up on the scene. So 15, 20 years now we've been doing that. We are TIPS certified. We do have crowd control people that will be on staff at the time. We do have an elite security. We hired them for all the events for this year. Let's see what else. We're going to do letters to the neighborhood like we normally do, except even the one that gives us a hassle. And we try to keep our music down to the ohms we're supposed to. We're doing wristbands for drinking and non-drinking. And all the bartenders are tip certified. All the managers are tip certified. That's about it. On the thing on the rocks, the last two that you mentioned, it'd be about 200 people out there for that one. Green beer races could be up to almost 1,000 people. The antique show we've never really done, and we're just going to try it out. We could have 200-300 people there for that one. The spring thing, that's a new one for us too. So that could take, 300-400 people also.
All right, and I know this is so this is your same kind of setup, just the outdoor, the permanent perimeter that you guys have put up, right?
Well, tell you the truth, we're big time now. We went ahead and got a fence installed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so we're fenced all the way around, and there's one area that's not fenced in the gravel driveway, and we do fence that ourselves. We do have an entrance and an exit, or you want to say 2 entrances, and then exits only way in and out. And I believe that's it.
And you got those entrances and exits policed by somebody to make sure people don't carry beverages off the property.
Yes, we do. Elite security.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And now aside, I know you guys have had some noise complaints in the past for the music, for the green beer races. What are you doing to make sure the noise doesn't go up too high this year?
Well, we do monitor that. And also we put the barriers, the sound barriers around the tent for that. And for the one neighbor on the one side that we block him off.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Great. Does the board have any questions about these requests?
No.
Well, hearing none.
You guys do a great job. I mean, the one thing is that I've noticed is since you had the fence put up is, you guys really do put up those like silver temporary fences, and it's blocking sort of the what do you call it there, the driveway / alley. So having been there before, yeah, I've seen how well you guys control that. So thank you for doing that.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Any additional questions or comments? All right. Well, hearing none, I will make a motion that we approve all of these requests, and I'll look for a second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, Dana, your requests are granted. Thanks so
Hey,
much.
thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right. Next up, we have another special Class C one-day license request by Celtic Star Inc. for the Annapolis Running Festival. This is a request for a special Class C one-day liquor license for beer, wine, and liquor, scheduled for Saturday, March 11th, 2023, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., located at 550 Taylor Avenue, Annapolis 21401. And who is here for Celtic Star Inc. to tell us a little bit about the running festival?
That is me, Lee Corrigan. How are you?
Hey, Lee, how are you?
I'm good, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Thank you for having me. We are
Sure
super
thing.
excited to begin bringing Annapolis, the first ever Annapolis Running Festival.
And Lee, I hate to interrupt you, but can we get your address first?
Oh, yeah, sure. 8333 Glenmar Road in Ellicott City, Maryland.
All right, great. Sorry, continue. Thanks.
Sure. Any case, on March 11th, the first annual Annapolis Running Festival, and I'm certainly aware that you've had many successful events there in the past. We've been working very closely with Felicia Nolan down in the special events office and Sergeant Gibbs. We have a lot of experience with. We are also the folks that put on the Beverage Run, which you may have heard of, which goes across the Bay Bridge. And we also do the Baltimore Marathon as well. So we have a good level of experience in this kind of thing. And in regards to our celebration village, which is just on the outside of the stadium complex in the parking lot, we will have our entire staff there, which is tip certified. We'll also have all county security. And that area, and I believe you guys have a schematic of what the area looks like, will be fenced in with cadence fencing, and we'll have a security officer standing at each one of those entrances and exits. So it's rather short day. The race itself starts at 7, and the whole thing wraps up by noon. So everybody's gone out of there pretty quickly. It's a half marathon, it's a 10K and a 5K. So we're looking at probably a grand total of 2,400 total participants, but they all start and finish at at a different time. So it's not like they're all there at the same time. They're kind of coming through. They receive 2 Michelob Ultras, and they get to listen to some music, and then they go about their way.
All right. Does the board have any questions about this event?
No.
So they receive those Michelob Ultras at the end of the race, right?
Yes, ma'am. Not before.
You don't want to know what goes on in my neighborhood when it comes to this, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they don't get them. They got to finish first.
Just triple checking.
Any additional questions?
No.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve this request.
I'll second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, your request is granted. Have fun.
Well, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, now we've got 3 in a row for Maryland Hall, so we'll combine items 20 through 22. The first, these are all requests for special Class C one-day liquor license. The first is for Ram's Head presents Mickey Dolans of the Monkeys, scheduled for Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. The next is Little Feet, presented by Ram's Head, April 12th, 2023 from 6:30 to 9:30. And then the final is Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York book tour, scheduled for Friday, March 10th, 2023 from 6 to 10 p.m. All of these taking place at 801 Chase Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. Dennis, good to see you tonight.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Could you just give us your full name and address for the record real quick and tell us about these events?
Yes, Dennis Coughlin, 801 Chase Street, Annapolis, Maryland. Another continuation of our Ram's Head Presents, where they use our facility to put on these performances. We open a bar which serves beer, wine, and water only from approximately 1 hour before the concerts start, and then reopen if they have an intermission. If they don't have an intermission, we shut it down for the evening. For the Sarah Ferguson book tour, we will just have, again, the same thing, beer, wine, and water for about an hour before there will not be an intermission. So we will close it probably a few minutes after she starts. I mean, it's all these will be in the same, our new community room that we have on the second floor, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from the doors to the theater.
And like a lot of your events, I'm guessing these are primarily an over 21. Crowd, right?
Yeah, that's a very safe assumption. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Does the board have any questions?
No.
All right. Do I hear a motion regarding these three requests for Ram's Head? Or excuse me, for Maryland Hall?
I motion to approve.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
All right, all
I'll
those in
second.
favor say aye.
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 All right, your requests are granted. Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Dennis, don't retire anytime soon. We still need you.
Thank you, Key. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right, and last but not least, we have an application for consumption of alcoholic beverages on city property at the Stanton Center for a party scheduled on Sunday, April 2nd, 2023, noon to midnight, 92 West Washington Street, Annapolis 21401. And who is here for this request?
Hello, it's me, that was putting in the request.
Okay, gotcha. If you could just give us your names and addresses for the record and tell us a little bit about the party that you're going to throw.
Of course, Carlos Martinez Cruz with me, and my father, Carlos Martinez Maropi. We were looking for my sister's 15-year-old quinceañera.
Just need your address first, too.
103 Northwest Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Great, gotcha. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. It's for my sister's 15 quinceañera. It's like for a tradition, a Catholic tradition to thank God for my sister turning 15 and like all the struggles that she's gone through. This is more of a community party where like we give thanks to everybody who's been involved in raising my sister throughout the years she's turning. We also have like some things implemented so there would be no minors of getting alcoholic beverages. We will have like 3 bartenders. We also have elite security to be patrolling, looking around. Also, when people enter, we're going to be checking them for if they're under 21, and if they are under 21, they will receive wristbands. And the people giving out the liquor will be checking for the wrists, making sure they don't have wristbands, and that way they won't be getting any liquor or alcohol. Security will also be doing like random checks around to see that no minors or like get any alcohol or liquors throughout the whole party. And yeah, it's around like 150 people. My dad got certified as a crowd manager as well, so we also have that for, yeah.
All right. Does the board have any questions regarding this request?
Well, the only flaw I see in your plan is that if you're going to put wristbands on the people that are under 21, what's stopping them from just taking the wristband off? Go the other direction and have people 21 and over get banded so that the bartenders know that they are.
Okay, so the other way around is what you believe?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Okay, yeah.
Not to be critical, but I think
we'll take any suggestions. Thank you.
there's probably a little. I mean, if I was under 21 and I wanted to drink, I'd just take the wristband off.
Yeah, no, that's.
But I was a delinquent, so
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions regarding this event?
So this is Carlos is your younger sister, yes?
Carla, yeah.
You know what? I don't know how much older you are, but I'm smiling because I have an older brother who would be doing the same thing for me right now, and I just want to commend you and thank you for doing this for your little sis, because I know that she's going to be over the moon about it. Is it a surprise, or does she know?
No, she knows
because it takes a lot of preparation, but yeah, she's still ecstatic.
That's right. It's a quinceañera. Yes. Yes. All right. Well, good luck. I make a motion to approve.
I second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Your request is granted. Good luck and have fun. All right.
Thank you. Have a nice week.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for our normal agenda. We've got one thing to discuss in an executive session, so I'll make a motion that we reconvene in an executive session off the record. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.